Let's do this. Hey, what's going on, Chemistry Youth? Pastor Greg got my thought for the day. So my thought for the day is this. What standard are you following? So when I think about standard or how to even define what a standard is, I always think back to when I first came in the military, and one of my first supervisors set me down and he gave me a feedback session. And in that session, he talked about like what time he expected me to be at work each day, how he expected my uniform to look, how he expected me to treat my coworkers, like what things he expected me to be learning, how I was supposed to do my job. Like he lined all these things out. And those were the guidelines or the standard for how I conducted myself day in and day out. And every time I got a new supervisor or a new boss, the standard may change. He may expect something else from me that this other person didn't. Right? So when I think about a standard, I think of the standard as like that measuring stick that we measure ourselves by, the standard of how we treat others, the standard of how we allow ourselves to be treated, the standard of how we conduct ourselves day in and day out, the standard, right? So what standard are you following? Are you following the standard that's set by, the world or, social media or maybe some of your peers or family members, whatever the case may be? Or are you trying to hold yourself to a higher standard? So when I think about what standards to follow, of course, the ultimate standard to follow is the standard that Jesus set. And I know a lot of people will say, well, that standard is just, too high. And you may be right. And most of us will never attain that standard. But why aim low, right? So I want everybody thinking about that. Like, what standard do you follow? You follow the standard of the world? Because the way the world does it is they keep moving the goal line all the time, right? They keep moving the finish line. So that standard goes up and down and side to side, and it's always moving and it's always shaky, right? It's not firm, it's not fixed. But if you follow that standard that Jesus set and you live your life by that, and the way you treat others and the way you allow yourself to be treated, and it's looked at through the lens of the kingdom, that's something that is not going to move. It's immovable, it's set. And as long as you keep pushing towards that standard, you will always be pushing closer and closer to the Father, closer and closer to the Son, guided by the Spirit. But you can follow the standard of the world and you can be all over the place, and you can wonder why you never feel secure and why you constantly allow certain things to happen, or you do certain things and you don't feel right after the fact, and you're like, why? Because the standard that you following is not strong, it's not secure. That's just my opinion. But I want everybody thinking about that. What standard do you follow? Follow the standard of the kingdom that Jesus set, or you follow the standard that the world set? Be blessed. Love you guys.